It's Fat Bee Man here, and I'm going to show you how to fill honey bears. These are some jars that we done filled back in the springtime, and what I'm going to do is get this started, and then I'll explain what I'm doing here. First thing you want to do is get your jars. These are jars that was filled in the springtime. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because on most extractors, you have a large honey gate, and when you open it up, you have a small hole here. It's kind of hard to hit the hole. So what you're going to have to do is buy a bunch of extra stuff you probably have right around the house. This is a regular kitchen funnel. It's a little bit slow to fill, but you see there's no mess. I try to get some extra bears here, and the next thing you want to do is get a wide mouth canning jar. And once this jar gets empty, what I'm going to do is I'll invert it. You see, this jar had honey in it. Now it's clean. I don't wash the jars when I empty the honey out. For one reason, I put my lids back on. I stick them back into the case where they come out of, and then right now this is the day before Christmas, so I'm doing honey bears as Christmas gifts, and you can see they make a nice little stocking stuffer, and these are very economical to buy. These come from cases of honey that I have or the students have filled up from the extractor, and I don't filter my honey. I let it settle naturally. Now, when this jar gets down to a certain point, you can't get the honey out. The next thing I'll do is take this jar and I'll turn it over and invert it. Now, you don't want to run this up above the funnel here. So that's why I try to keep 2 or 3. It's going to be hard. And then I've got a paper towel here, and I use the paper towel to keep all the lint off. I've got this here to remind me, don't use a cloth towel to wipe your jars or wherever you're processing honey, because you'll have lint, and you'll have little pieces of lint stick on here. Now, once you get this funnel down to a certain point, bring the level back up, and what I'm going to do, once I get my level up here a little bit, now my hands is clean, so see, they're clean. Now I'm going to rinse them off. I'll use the towel here to clean my hand dry, but when you clean the jar off, what you want to do is use the paper towel to eliminate lint. Now, once I got the level up in my funnel here, I'm going to bring the level of this honey bear up. Now, this is a little bit slower than going out to a bee supply house and buying all the little gadgets. I try to figure things out to do as cheaply as possible, and there's no one going to get a bigger smile on their face than a person when you hand them a honey bear and wish them a Merry Christmas. At least that's what I'm hoping. Now see, I'm just about to the level that I want, and I want to have my next bear ready. I'll slide this across, put it in here. That's going to give me a few minutes. Now here's my damp paper towel. I'm going to go along and I want to clean this up just to make sure there's no drippings or run over on that. Now these are self-sealing caps, and I'm not going to plug where I bought them, but I bought a couple cases of these. Now see, these are nice little honey bears, the right size. If you're selling honey, which I don't try to sell honey, but when we pack it here, we do the pints, the quarts, and we also do the bears at Christmas time to give away. Now see, my level of this funnel is getting low, so what I'm going to do is bring this across, stick it in here. I want to bring the level of my honey back up in here. Best to have you a bunch of jars lined up. Now I'm not going to run this video out clear to the end, but what I want to show you is once you drain this quart jar, the sides are going to be full of honey. Now here's the purpose of this jar. See, it's a wide mouth. Set this jar right up inside, let it drain, and once it drains, then you're going to have a jar that's going to look like this. It's pretty clean, but it's still got honey. Put your lid on, stick it back in the case, and then in the springtime, take them out in your bee yard and just lay them sideways. And once the bees have cleaned it up, then bring it in the house and run it through the dishwasher. Now you can see this here. These quart jars are filling about three and a half of these bears. And I ordered 12-ounce jars, or 12-ounce bears. But I don't know if these are 12-ounce or not. Maybe there's some metric. Maybe these bears speak metric. And try to keep the area where you're putting honey in clean, or you won't have a Merry Christmas. Because when Santa Claus gets mad, you don't have presents under the Christmas tree if you make a mess. I'm going to get this one here filled, and I'm going to go shut the camera off. But this here is, I think, about the cheapest way to fill your honey bears without making a total big mess. And with using the funnel, as you can see, I'm filling the jars up, these bears, and it actually keeps the amount of air bubbles out of the honey pretty well. So you could fill these today and give them tomorrow. Now this bear is coming up through the level. Now if you enjoy these videos, click on like on the channel and subscribe. You'll get updates, you'll get a lot of new videos, and hopefully an old man like me is not boring too many people. Bring it up just to that level, and then I bring it over. Now that keeps all the drips off your table, your countertop. Now if you drag it across, you can kind of get that honey off of that funnel. But I'm just coming around this just to make sure. Then you put this on like so. Now if you want to decorate it up, you get your little bow. Stick your little bow on there. Now this is the Fat Bee Man wishing you a Merry Christmas. This is the day before Christmas. Probably won't do no more videos until next year. Have a Merry Christmas.